passionate, full of energy. People tell me that, you literally add positive energy to the room when you walk in, and it is infectious enthusiasm that I carry around. Not to say that I don't have my low moments and I am not sitting, moping about and all. I go through all of that. And especially after coming into the startup world and being an entrepreneur, those moments happen. But I think it's more about how you positively influence other people, and how, unless you have a medical condition, how you're able to conduct yourself to, bring the right kind of environment around you. A child, so I have grown up in Delhi. I was born and brought up in Delhi, finished my eco honors from Delhi University, North Campus, Delhi, and then I went on to do my management. And after that, I've always been working in Mumbai. And, while I was still in my graduation, I realized I want to be in advertising. And everybody in my management, the outside professors, the professors, everybody, even, professors who used to come just to take an external viva, even they would counsel me, you should get into financial marketing, you're good at sales, you'll, earn more money. What are you doing? Why do you want to get into advertising? It doesn't pay. But I guess so. I'm a person after my own mind. I believe in fighting for what I want, and I believe in doing also what I want. I guess I've always been like that. And so I got into advertising, and at my campus, there were no ad agencies which were coming in. And I was interviewing with Tata Press Yellow Pages, and they wanted me to join the sales team. And I actually just told them, I know you have an in-house ad agency called Design Shop, just take me for that. I somehow got my way and got into that ad agency, came to Bombay, started working here. Then after 6 months, I shifted to a larger agency, Percept Advertising. And that's where I spent more than a decade, almost 12 years, doing advertising, events, PR, 360-degree communication, doing brand strategy for clients, doing product launches. And then I took a small sabbatical because my son was born. And initially I thought ki theek hai, manage kar lenge, but we were living in a nuclear family, so between my parents and my husband's parents, they managed for a year. And then I was like, nahi hoga, I have to be with my baby. He was, I think, 1.5 years old. And then I said, I'm quitting. My boss was like, are you mad? Don't you can't quit. Like, nobody could believe that Meenal can quit. But I actually took a sabbatical. I was at home for a little while, but I kept, doing some consulting assignments and all, because I have this restless energy, which I passed on to my son. So can't sit still and can't sit at home and not, be out with people doing other things. I just need to do that. So kept on doing that consulting, then got back to work. And then in 2007, I joined K. Raheja Corp. So I was the country head for their tie-up with Surf Corp, which is a premium serviced office from Australia. So I was looking after that. I spent around 6.5 years there. And then I said, ki abhi bas ho gaya. 18-20 years of working for somebody else. Now I need to do something on my own. And I could see at that time, so what is now called co-working and the entire industry which became so big, at that time it used to be only business center serviced offices and very few brands which were there. I think somewhere I saw the opportunity that was there. And I also realized that the business I'm running right now, the one I'm heading for others, is not looking at going in the same way, at least in India. So I had my own thoughts, took a break from that. And that is how My Baby Meetings and Offices was launched. And been at it for quite some time now, seen a lot of ups and downs, and going on. But the thing is, see, as an entrepreneur, you will, and especially if you've given up a cushy job and you're suddenly on your own doing everything yourself, you are going to feel the pinch. It is not that you're not going to feel the pinch. You're going to feel the pinch, but that is why you have to be very, very sure before you jump into it. And you have to create that environment around you of like-minded people, ensuring that, your family understands what you're going to do and they are supportive enough. And you actually start looking at every little penny that you're spending at home and outside, everything, with a fine tooth comb. So you have to do that. It's not easy. But if you really are no longer enjoying the corporate life and you are going to enjoy entrepreneurship more, I think then it's a no-brainer. So do I feel sometimes, hey Bhagwan, kya kar diya? Yes, I do. Do I feel that maybe I shouldn't have done that? Yes, I do have my days and moments when I feel like that. But is this worth it? Totally. I meaning, if I had to do it all over again, I would still do it. There is a time when you just know that bahut ho gaya. Yeah, meaning, you are. So I was heading a company, reporting to the board of directors, but ultimately it's somebody else's organization, right? They call the shots. So out here, people say ki ultimately customer is making you do whatever you're doing. But I have taken that decision. And if I decide not to work with a particular customer, I will not work with that particular customer. It's my choice. And if I think for my business it is required, then it's all right. I'm making that choice. Going from an environment where everything is taken care of and, you're going in a chauffeur-driven car, you have secretaries to handle all your work, and you're basically, living in a different world, coming back to Mother Earth, where you are the chief executive and the chief janitor, as I call myself, is a little difficult. But yeah, you have to be. So that's why the thing is, you have to make sure that you have thought through what you want to do. You have thought through all the obstacles, all the challenges that will come in your way, and you're prepared to handle that. 2 decades of working, you build relationships, right? And actually those relationships came in handy. And how? Meaning, it is just, at times I just feel that I was so blessed. I guess I must have done something right in the 2 decades that I was working and nurturing these relationships, because I have never believed in, talking to a client for a particular deal only so that abhi paisa aa gaya, baat ka baad mein sochenge. Ever since I was working, my ethics were in the right place and my heart was always in the right place. So I nurtured my relationships. That's the kind of person I am, and it really, really helped me a lot. What we do, like I told you, is we help enterprises. So there are a couple of verticals. So we help enterprises and large corporates reassess their entire real estate footprint. We will help them understand, which micro market should they take, how many seats should they take, which is the player they should go with. So for let's say even the admin head or facilities or real estate head, it is very difficult to, have conversations with 5, 6, 7 different players. And for a single co-working operator, they will obviously be giving only their solution, right? They're not going to talk about other people's solution. And even the largest of them, meaning, let's take the big brands. I hope my industry doesn't kill me. But even if you take the big global brands and we take a city like Mumbai, not everybody is present in Lower Parel. Not everybody is present in town. Not everybody is present in Kandivali, Borivali. So if there are, team members coming from Mira Bhayandar, they have to come all the way to Malad, Goregaon, Andheri East. And in the current scenario, maybe that's not what we want to do. Not everybody is in Navi Mumbai. Not everybody is in Thane. So you will have to take a mix of 2, 3 players to ensure that all your employees' needs are getting met. And if you have to do that, that means talking to so many people, signing so many contracts, monitoring attendance, rostering, and a lot of logistical nightmare. We are a one-stop shop. Come to us and we take care of all those hassles for you. And why it works for clients is, why a co-working space as such works is because there are no admin hassles. So people who are good at running facilities are doing that, and you are focusing on your core business and building your profitability and your bottom line. And not only is it like a fully furnished place with all admin hassles, internet, security, housekeeping, tea, coffee, maintenance, you name it, everything is taken care of. But over and above that, your employees have the advantage of being able to network with other companies, their employees, go and have a totally different conversation. As a startup, you might find clients there. And even as a larger corporate, your salespeople can find clients there. You have, so like I was saying that, building a peer support group from different industries is so important. You're finding it all in that co-working space. All of them have apps where members can talk to members. And it just stimulates you so much more. Then the other thing that we do is, which is something that we had in fact started with, is people can come online, search, compare, book, pay, and use meeting rooms, conference rooms, training rooms starting from 1 hour onwards. Yeah, and we are a pan-India operator, of course. So now if somebody has to, space owners want to enter into this industry, of course, metros is a good space, but I think the tier 2 cities is where the excitement is now. And I think some of the larger players have been saying they are going to venture into tier 2 cities also. I hope they start doing that soon. And that is another advantage with us, right? So far, the large players are not in tier 2 cities, but we are. Trust your instincts. And something that I've recently started doing, in fact, because somebody guided me to do that, there will be low times, right? Figure out, so when you're feeling low and when you're able to overcome it, figure out what were you feeling at that time and write your reasons as to, your strengths, as to why you shouldn't feel like this. Have that document in front of you so the next time you're feeling low, you can actually say that I'm stronger than this and I can overcome this. And this is something I say often in, I think almost in all my talks and interviews. If you see a wall, you don't turn back. You create a door. You go through. Don't give up. Just don't give up. I did not go back to school kind of thing. It was more of a MDP, an executive course for professionals, for working professionals. And that was a small thing. So, but women, I think, and especially, given today's age, there's just so many new things happening. You have to constantly upskill yourself. And, it is not very difficult to upskill yourself because you literally have thousands of courses on YouTube and Google. And if you don't know how to do something, Google it and learn it. I don't know if it's mentioned in my profile or not, but I truly believe in, training people. And I really think training is an important part of every professional's life. And it is not that only I believe in training others, and I actually do professional courses also for people to train them, but I also believe in training myself, because from every conversation, something or the other you can learn. And the advantage of working with the youngsters today is they are eager, they are thinking, they are learning from you, but there is just so much more that we can learn from them. So I think learning is something that must never stop. And even if you're taking a break from your career, you should keep yourself up to date on what is happening and, keep the mental machinery working. Because being at home, if you're taking a break as a woman and, you're into motherhood and taking care of the child and all, it's like a 24/7 jobbing. But I think somewhere or the other, women have to find a little time for themselves to, follow their passions, follow what they like. Because otherwise what happens now, you spend a good 12-15 years looking after your kids, and once they are grown, then you're like, ab kya karu? I have suddenly so much time at my hand. What am I going to do with it? So if you've kept up with the trends and, you have kept your passions alive, it's a little easier. A little time daily, weekly, it is important. Otherwise, it just becomes very difficult and overwhelming. I think there is nothing in the world you cannot do, and no mountain, no heights that you can scale if you set your mind to it. I think dream big, do not be scared. You will fall on the way. It is all right. Stumble on the way. The thing is about getting up and, going back on the path again. So do not give up is what I say. And I think women just need to dream big and go after it. Don't let anything or anybody stop you. Most successful of women entrepreneurs, they come around and say, sometimes they say, not all, but I have heard people say that, I'm so thankful my family permitted me to do this. And why are you looking for permission? That basic foundation in our culture is wrong. Women shouldn't have to look for permission. Okay, kids is all right when you are younger. All parents will tell you what to do, what not to do. Most parents do. Thankfully, I don't. But so that's all right. And I think till you're living with your parents, yeah, please listen to them. But again, the thing is, right, if you believe in what you want to do, ultimately you're going to sell it to the customers also. Convince the people who are wanting to stop you. And frankly speaking, if you can't convince them, so how are you going to sell your product or service or dream to somebody else? So please do it. And I think the other thing is, and again, something that I do, unashamedly ask for help. Totally do not get embarrassed by asking for help. Ask for help. Worst case kya hoga? Somebody will say no. It's all right. Please ask. Till you ask, you do not know what help you can get from this universe. So please seek help, build your support system, and just chase your dreams.